Welcome, everyone, to another session of Flames of the Divine. Last session, in in in, in the part in the party did quite a bit of magic item shopping, or that might have been part of the session before last. I don't remember, but they did that, and Alar went to visit her dad, and someone
Alar?
not Silo. So, oh yeah. Wait, now I remember. Silo visited her dad, Ed, and had a bit of a heart-to-heart with him. And the party also explored the new house they were given, and found some interesting things in the basement. And with more business yet to attend to, the party continues this very long shopping episode. So, I believe you just left the right estate. It is now getting on to late afternoon at this point. So the day is yours.
All right then. So Talus clears his throat. All right. So what else does everyone need to go? I'm sorry, brain's a bit of a mess. What does everyone else need to do before we get the proper mission statement?
I only need to buy a messenger bird.
All right. Anything else?
I need to get some armor. I'm going to need to get I need to get some cards too, and I need to talk to the Photographers Guild.
All right, do that. All right, we could all probably get that done together. So how about that?
Sounds reasonable.
Well,
Though-
let's head out then.
Though, should we inform the authorities about what we found in the basement?
We'll let Lady Hilma know, and she'll get it sorted out, I'm sure.
I hope so.
All right, then, everyone. Shall we head on down to the markets once more?
I think it'd be a good idea, yeah.
All right, so I guess we all head down to the markets.
Okay, so what do you want to look for first?
Okay.
Like you got.
Let's get the bird first, and then we can go and do the other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. The bird will probably be the easiest thing.
Okay, so. Okay, so search for a messenger bird actually takes you. It takes you here. Har to to a small sort of a net here, like in near the eastern part, the eastern and bay part of the Urchin district. It is actually you see you meet a really large Minotaur, sort or sort of like a really big, like huge, even for a Minotaur. Are just like basically walking among a bunch of trees. Is like laying out meat for all these birds.
Heaven just
Sorry.
Heaven just like blinks and in shock. Go ahead, Rudy.
I was just going to motion for you to talk. That's all.
Oh, Heaven clears her throat and tries to get the Minotaur's attention. Excuse me.
Hello. What can I do for? What can I do for you, Miss?
Call me Heaven. I am looking to purchase some sort of messenger bird.
Messenger bird, huh? Where to, Miss Evan?
Where to?
Yeah, I mean, might need a stronger or a weaker one depending on where you want to go.
Well,
Dangerous.
since my party and I are going to travel to the south near the Valley of Life and Death, a hardy bird would probably be suffice.
Huh. One moment. I should have looked this up earlier. I didn't actually look up how much a falcon at hawk costs in real life. Oh my.
It's an exotic pet, so it'd be around 20 to 30 GP.
Oh. I legit did not know the Dungeon Master's Guide had anything to say about that. I was just going to look. It's literally going to look up what they were in real life. But all right.
There's not anything in the Dungeon's Master's
Valley of Life.
Guide.
Yeah, you're right to.
Moving on.
Fine.
You're right to.
Fine.
You're right to ask. Okay. Let me talk. You're right to ask for a heart. You're right to ask for a hardy bird. The Valley of Life and Death can be a very dangerous place. It's here. Well, let me show you what I would recommend. And he leads you over to basically a set of cages. It is full of full of bright of basically a bunch of birds, clearly predatory birds with bright crimson feathers. Go ahead and roll nature to see if you already know what it is.
Nature.
Yeah. Just like
Okay, here it is. Wow.
you actually have heard of these things inks before, I guess, or like possibly just like. All right, and possibly he just like, I mean, how would you know? I guess you read it in a book somewhere. But this is a bloodhawk.
Bloodhawk.
Yeah, they're known for being very aggressive and also very diligent if you train them right.
Heaven and can Heaven examines this hawk, trying to get a feel on what its personality is like.
Well, there's a bunch of them around. Well, so you just okay, like, do you take one at random or what?
No. Heaven goes over each of the bloodhawks until she finds one who is kind of on its own. Kind of has like almost a like basically an edgelord like attitude.
Okay, go ahead and roll animal. So I guess you're gonna try and befriend that one then.
Yes, Heaven's just gonna put on a friendly smile and greets and speak to.
Roll. Okay, no. Oh no, go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do.
Heaven just she kneels bends down so that she's eye level with the Bloodhawk and just with a charming smile goes, "Well, you're a handsome bird."
Go ahead and roll animal handling. All right, it's not bad. Just get it. Pull this up just to see. Have a general idea of how it'll react. It rolled. Okay, so it just rolled a nat 20,
Oh,
which is good for you. So, I guess I mean, you can't tell if if it blushed under all those red feathers, but it seemed a bit taken aback.
Heaven just continues to smile, being charming. He said, "Would you like to would you like to come with me? My companions and I will be traveling, and we could use your unique skills."
They. One moment. Uh, yeah, the Minotaur or like the breeder who at this point and you learn his name is Harvrak. He hands you like basically just like a strip of meat that near as you can tell came off of like a rodent of some kind. Like definitely too big to be a mouse.
Heaven gets the idea, takes the meat, and hands it and holds it up to the Bloodhawk.
It gobbles the meat. It gobbles the meat up and then nuzzles into your hand.
Heaven is Heaven's smile got bigger. Well, I guess that's a yes then.
Yeah. This one, yeah, it doesn't get. It doesn't. It, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't really. It seem to get along with the others, which is weird. They are normally, I guess, pack animal isn't the right word for a bird, but you get the idea.
A flock animal?
Something like that.
While this exchange is going on, Talus is just having a staring contest with another Bloodhawk.
You go ahead and roll it. Okay,
Staring
go ahead and
contest.
roll it. Go ahead and roll animal handling or intimidation, animal handling or intimidation, animal handling and your intimidation. Like, okay, you're okay. I'm. Go ahead and roll intimidation, and it's going to do the same. So, the Bloodhawk rolled a 10 on the die, but because it has a -3 to charisma, you just beat it. But they're both very low scores, so you both like kind of look at each other like, "Is that lunch?"
Looks at 7 foot tall Leon and ooh, lunch. Sorry, I broke away from that. Just because I wanted to do something interesting.
No, not at all. Not at all. Funny background shenanigans are always good.
Zilla watches this exchange, and then she's just like, She stands next to Talos, right behind him, and then glares at the same hawk he's looking at.
Roll intimidation. Yeah, not much of a change. Like, it's all just like this, none of you rolled high. I like none of you rolled high enough to make anyone involved blink.
Yeah, Talus's eyes are just going red at this point. He hasn't blinked in probably a good 30 seconds.
Like it's just the most epic stare down between a giant lion man and just like this little red bird.
But yeah, go ahead and finish the transaction if you'd like.
Okay, so so all the all the equipment and okay, so all the equipment and feed for anything like that, that's going to be about 30 GP.
Heaven dishes out the gold.
All right, mark that from your inventory, and all right, it's now. I trained them all, so if you want, tell them where to carry your so I trained them all for message duty, among other things, because that's a very like common and thing that customers want. And so just if you need them for that, just tell them where you want to go. And like I'll get there as fast as he can. Of course, finding his way back to you might be an issue if you plan to be traveling.
What if I say where I'm going and
I well, that might make things a bit easier for him, but I mean, if you're just on some random spot on the road, well, like if as long as it's a city, you should be you should be fine.
Talus finally breaks eye contact with the bird, and he says to Heaven, why don't you instruct him to return back to our little home once he's done?
but though what would he what if he has to bring a
The house we got given.
Yeah, no, as I was trying to say, what if he has to bring a message back to us?
Well, then we'll get the message when we return.
We'll see.
But it's better than him wandering aimlessly trying to search for you.
I think I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Anyway, does this bird have a name, or shall I name him?
I mean, if I do not name my birds, otherwise I'd never be able to keep them all straight. I tag them with numbers, and like you look at the, like basically on a drift, you see like just like a little tag, basically.
All right. Heaven then smiles, and as she like gently strokes the bloodhawk's feathers, I think I shall call him Nefaru.
Okay, I'll let you edit as you please.
Nefaru. That's it.
Well, Nefaru he shall be then. And now, and then he hands you like a bunch of basically like the equipment, like basically like a pamphlet explaining how you need to feed him, like the proper glove, of like like the proper like like some proper purchase that you need to get like mounted on the wall and stuff.
All right.
Yeah. He also like explains like you're probably good like if you plan to keep him in your house, you'll probably need to like reconfigure one of your or one of the rooms to serve as like an aerie.
An aviary?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, so like he runs you through all that, and then once he does, like another customer comes in, so like he gives you like a quick nod and a smile, and then just walks over to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, seems Hope has a new playmate.
Okay. Wait, no. Continue if you were going to say anything.
I was actually just gonna say, Nefaro hears Talos call him Heaven's playmate and just like glares at Talos like, you got a problem with that, fur face?
He just gives an honest smile.
See, now Nefaro's starting to look at you like you ate food. Now, Dream. Now, I hate to interrupt the roleplay, but there is a decision I need you to make now. So you plan to send him off to like carry that message like pretty much straight away, right?
I figured I'd get some time with him before I send any messages.
Well,
Well,
let me explain just how I'm doing this. Like, now, here's how I'm going to be treating pets. Now, Nefaru is a pet. He's a living, breathing, warm-blooded, regular animal pet. You did not summon him from anywhere. He cannot be resummoned if he's dead. And he's gone. So, with that in mind, and any pets you buy, and this will also apply to any horses, any like riding horses you intend to take into combat or anything that haven't been summoned, will be getting sidekick levels.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be one sidekick level for every 2 levels your character has. Yeah, so half your level.
Okay.
Yeah, now and normally I'd say normally I'd say you could only have expert or warrior, but because you're going to be sending him to this creepy Fey forest, I could also twist it to be I could also justify it being mage as well. So I'll give you some time to think about that.
Okay.
What kind of bird friend you want to have?
What kind of bird friend?
Yeah, I'll give you some time to think about that.
Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, that's that checked off the list. So let's go and get the other things.
Yeah. So Silo, I believe it was basically your list next.
Yep.
And all right, so you wanted some armor and a deck of tarot cards, I believe, right?
Yep.
All right, which one do you want to get first?
Get the armor first.
Okay. Do you want like the basic stock stuff, or like basically, do you want like something like really good, or just basic stock stuff?
Basic stock stuff.
Okay, like, hey, you're out of money, aren't you?
No, I'm pretty low right now. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess you can visit that particular merchant next time then. Okay. So in that case, like if you go for basic stock stuff, then the best just regular leather or padded armor is about what you'd be able to get.
I'll get leather. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
How much does it cost me for leather?
20 gold, I think. Let me double check that.
Leather armor is pretty cheap. Last I checked.
Yeah, like I believe it's 20 EGP. Just let me double check that, because I know studded leather is 45. Leather armor finding, and like obviously, like the armor shop you go to, it's just like a dwarf, like it's like a dwarf with like beard, pretty standard stuff. Like he sells like heavier stock stuff. Oh, actually, no, it's only 10 GP. Never mind. But yeah, he's selling heavier stock stuff as well. Okay, so leather is 10 GP, padded is 5 GP.
I'll take leather.
Okay. So yeah, he sells like he sells like a scale mail and chain mail as well, but like yeah, you can't wear those obviously.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then so and then the other thing you wanted was tarot cards.
Yeah.
Do I dare? We will leave it up to fate. Roll an investigation check, and just just to see if you get a nat 20.
I got 13.
Okay,
Nat 20.
you just find a vendor who sells you regular like a regular tarot deck.
Okay.
Yeah, probably for the best. It's way too early to introduce that abomination.
How much for the tarot deck?
How much? Probably not much. I mean, how much for a deck of playing cards? Because it'd be about the same.
Oh, let's just say like
Probably.
3 silver.
I'd imagine it's probably about 3 silver.
Yeah, well, no, 5 silver actually.
Okay. Well, I'll buy the 5 silver out of it.
Yep. All right, so now you have a fully restored deck of so now you have a full deck of tarot cards, and the creepy merchant down the alleyway will remain unused for now.
Fair enough.
Slowly slinks off back into the shadows.
Yeah. Your time will come when they're not level 4.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
now and then. Okay, so all this walking around, like it's starting to get into the late afternoon. Like the sun's getting close to setting. So, and so the Cartographers Guild. Silo, you would have a general idea of this, but the Cartographers Guild is actually not in like the high district where you would have expected it to be. They do, in fact. It does. As a matter of fact, it has a little compound right at the outskirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a walk, so Silas and Hope actually walks over there as well, just to let them know that she's coming.
Right. Let me just mark down a thing. Yeah, but yeah, the local chat. Yes, but yeah, this is where the local chapter of the Cartographers Guild is. So, as you say, like, yeah, it's getting. But yeah, by the time you reach it, like you basically walked across the city at that point, and so it's pretty close to sunset at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so, now, Phil, are you by yourself, or is everyone else still with you?
Sure, everyone else will be with me at that point.
I mean, yeah, we've kind of all been traveling throughout the entire day together, so yeah.
Right. So, gotta get this one out. So, as you step in, like you see, like it's moderately busy at this point. Like 6 or 7 people, all in like these forest, like these emerald green cloaks, which are basically the guild's uniform. Like it's like it's organizationally come a long way in the last couple hundred years. It is now. You may feel a sense of paranoia knowing some of them are warlocks and not quite knowing which ones. and but like that eventually like you make your way up over to like basically what you assume is a receptionist since she's sitting behind a desk in front of the front door.
Hello, miss.
It's like she sees Hope with you. You must be Miss like she like goes through her right, is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Very short notice for an appointment, but but as it happens, we're not as we were going to be closing a little bit later tonight anyway. What can we do for you?
I would like to have if you have a warlock available to check something for me.
Like, oh, you, I suspect you may be one, but not, but not sure. Sure, that's not not uncommon. It's not an unusual way for a warlock to come to us. Hold on one second, Jensen, and like, by the way, the woman you're talking to is like it's a dark elf or half elf woman, and like a pretty nondescript looking for the city, and
Okay.
then Jensen and is and is a somewhat older looking and gnome. Yeah, a gnome, like a somewhat older looking gnome, like like a receding hairline, salt and pepper hair, 2 feet tall as is tradition.
Okay.
Yeah. So so if you follow me this way, like I'm just going to run a few tests on you just to see what's going on.
Scylla nods and
Yeah.
she just follows in.
Yeah. And do the rest of you make any move to go with?
Well, Talos will. I'm not sure about everyone else.
Heaven's just gonna hang out and continue to bond with Navarro.
Like he's like he's like stealing. He's like taking turns, like just like sort of nuzzling with you when he thinks no one else is looking, and when he does think anyone else is looking, he looks at them like they're food. Yeah. So, and anyway, so he leads you off towards basically like this very like simply laid out chamber with like a few like there's like a big circle in the middle, like which he directs you to stand in. Like off to the side, there's like a rack of a few wands and things. Things like it's sort of like the magical equivalent of a doctor's checkup. So all right, so we're just going to now. You believe you suspect now he like pulls up a couple of chairs like as you sit in one in the middle of the circle. Okay, so a few questions first, and then he like glances at Talos. Do you mind him being here?
He's a friend of mine. I trust him.
Very well.
Talos is just kind of absently like playing with the giant bow that he has.
Rudy's there as well. There wasn't really a time to say anything.
Oh. Well. Okay. Well, amend him to them then. And so yeah, he's looks vaguely intimidated by the bow, but like he just shakes it off and like, okay, so I believe like now, first and most important question: have you been manifesting weird powers that you have no idea where they came from?
You mean using them?
Yes.
You can tell Scylla's intelligence by that. Yeah, I use them constantly. Though I have to wait every now and then when I use them too much.
And okay, that sounds about right. Like he points to like basically sort of a target, like a basically one of those dartboard type style targets that's just like hung over on like a bare wall. Like just show. Give me a quick demonstration, and please, just so I can see what I'm looking at here.
So nods, and she would focus normally and cast lightning lure towards the target.
All right. Hmm. Okay, and you say that you often need to take quick breaks for this power.
For anything heavier, normally I can just cast light this spell here, and that'll be fine if I can't cast anything else.
He nods it. Okay, so definitely a warlock. Do you have any notion as to what kind? Like what manner of being might have given you this power?
That's where we're struggling with. I didn't even know I
Well,
was a warlock.
I see. Well, no matter. That's like that is exactly what the test I'm about to run on you are meant to determine. So, and then he like sort of like just it's like as you to like stand up, up and like you just like he removes the chair just so you know he has room to work.
Mhm.
And like he like starts like the rack of wands I'm making her that I mentioned and earlier. He starts like pulling them out and just running them over you one by one, like poking them in different places and observing how they glow, basically.
So it just stands
And,
still
like,
and just
yeah,
watches this.
well, and occasionally he asks you to like demonstrate like more spell, also you just so he can like take 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 me take some readings of those two.
Hmm.
And at this point you would have so mark down both of your spell slots because he would have asked you to use them like basically as part of the test.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, once you hit your limit there, he says he was like, "Oh, all right, so relatively early stages." And like all the time, like he's just like looking at the light and just like taking notes. And go ahead and roll insight on him real fast. That's 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 yeah, like all throughout the test, he's just looking more and like at one point, basically, and he's like, okay, that could be, and then at one point, you're not sure, but at one point during the test, he starts to look confused, and then just gets more and more confused as it goes on. Interesting. This is, huh?
Would it help if I explained a little bit more? You just ask.
That that would be good later, but or once I finish the tests, I will tell you what I learned, and then you can maybe fill in any gaps. Okay?
Okay.
Eh, 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 So, eh, 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 so once you do that, so eventually once he gets done with the tests, he like he brings back the chairs so you can sit down again, and like you don't need to stand in the circle anymore. So he just like brings you so he just like has you sit down wherever.
Okay. She would sit down outside the circle.
And he's like, okay, so in the initial scans, it seemed a bit like, well, the initial scans made me think celestial because, because as well. There were certain energy readings that matched up properly, and then in the earlier tests, like it just seemed off. The fact of the matter is, Miss Wright, I've been doing this for. I've been testing people like this for almost 40 years, and I've never seen anything like the kind of energy you give off.
So do we know who is the patron known as?
Now, if you could tell me how you, if you could tell me if you have any information on like what might be providing it, that may very well help.
Well, if it's about the markings, it's when I read it before that things started changing, and I started hearing voices in my head that would do predictions for me.
Predictions, interesting.
And later on, eventually, it led me to a book in a library I found. This book is written in code, and no one's ever able to decipher it. But when I read it, the voice vanished, and I got these marks.
Okay, that's okay. That's not an unfamiliar story. That's I mean, mysterious book in a library is well, not it's not an unheard of way for a warlock to manifest, but it's this. But still, this energy. It doesn't seem to be malevolent in all. That much I can tell you, so you can rest easy there. But I couldn't tell you what exactly it is. It is, but there is one other but there is. I'm sorry to if this disappoints you, but there is one other person in in this guild hall that we could consult with, who may know more than I do. I believe she should still be in her office.
I would like to speak with her then.
Yes, it is our chapter mistress. It's Lady Oriana. Come with me. I'll introduce you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So, do you all still keep going with her?
Yeah, and as we're going, Talus just kind of looks to Rudy and he says, "Does any of this strike you as cult-like?"
Nah, if it was a cult, they would have asked for her blood.
So you think they're trustworthy?
That's a different question right there.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. So he heads you. So yeah, he leads the three of you. It is the three of you right now upstairs. And he and basically leads you to a hall into a large. Into basically towards a large set of double doors with like basically the eye insignia of the guild just like carved into them very big. I don't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the insignia was an eye. But yeah.
It basically looks like an eye, but sort of in the shape of a compass, almost.
So that, yeah. So, you see, so Jenkins knocks and Jenkins. Jenkins knocks, and you hear a voice saying, "Come in," and Very well. Seems you who yeah. Well, seems we were to come in. Yes. He opens the door. Yes, Lady Oriana. This is well, a newly confirmed warlock. Bit of it. A lot of unanswered questions about this one, and rising as in from the desk at the center of the room. Um, um, you see a tiefling. You see this woman. So, what can I do for you?
I just like to confirm my patron is all. She gives like a half-hearted wave. Really unsure about this place.
Huh. Well, what's so special about it? And then I believe like I guess at that point like you just explain everything that you explained to Jenkins.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jenkins like chimes in with his own fine and things there. And well, our family and uh, my my grandfather was always very fond. He's always very fond of going out about the secrets of the universe. Our family knows. As my family's been as my family have been warlocks for a very long time, and well, we've been around. Tell me, and tell me, has anything since you start? And where did you last hear this voice?
Actually, recently, just once, when I was trying to wake up my companion, and I got close to a necklace.
Hmm.
I heard it once more. It was very faint.
Could I see this necklace?
Ah, my companion does have it. She doesn't. She's not with us right now.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. Well, I mean, like you could. Well, I mean, like if you don't have. I mean, if it's not with you right now, that's no trouble. Or you could just and like you could come back another day. Like if Drake and can say as it's not malevolent, then it's probably not something that needs to be answered this red hot minute.
That's true. I'll probably bring it back another day. I know it's getting pretty late. Though she is outside, I can just go out there real quick and get it from her.
Oh well, by all means then.
Alright, I'll be right back then. I'm sorry. And so it awkwardly leaves.
When she comes out, she sees Heaven sitting on a bench, just chatting up with Nefaru before noticing CeeLo. Everything all right?
I think so. However, I do need to see the necklace for some examining, if you don't mind.
Heaven hands her the necklace, though. Nefaru just glared at CeeLo like she's taking away his precious Heaven time.
CeeLo awkwardly hides hope from this bird and just takes the necklace and moves on. Thank you, Heaven.
No problem. Are you all right?
I'm fine, thank you. Just this is a lot of information for me to hold on right now.
All right. Well, I'll be right here if you need anything.
Will do. Thank you. And she would head back into the office in question.
Yeah.
Okay, so right. Now let's see. Uh, um, She. Yeah. Gonna see. Gonna see. Now she's gonna. Oriana's is gonna look at the symbol to see what if she an a talisman of Artune. You don't see you don't usually see those. Don't usually see those as far north. It's I wonder. Maybe. Hmm. Artune is a god and and unless maybe and unless celestial Estial of Artune perhaps. It's like if that was what that was what is what it was what Jenkins concluded, and Artune was a goddess of prophecy.
Are you saying I could be a celestial with a patron?
That is my hypothesis, at any rate. Like we would need to examine you further and more closely as your powers developed to really have any concrete conclusions. And like, if your patron were to reach out to you in some direct way, that would be particularly helpful. But well, from what I gather, they've never really done that, have they?
Not recently. In fact, it seems like I feel like they can't anymore. That's my conclusion from that.
A patron in trouble. Always, always a fun time. And you notice the very heavy air quote she puts on the word fun.
What should I do then?
Well, I mean, do you know? Well, if they're in some kind of trouble, do you have any way of knowing where they are?
I do not. I figured I'll just find it on the way and just believe in fate.
Fate. Well, if your patron it really is connected to Artune in any way, then that might work better than most people who try that way. Tell me, Scylla, what do you plan to do next?
Scylla goes silent for a moment. And then she looks over to Talos and Rudy. I plan to travel with my companions for now and see where that leads.
Where, though?
Ah, you mean actual. Sorry about that. We're going to the Valley of Life and Death.
Like, what are your immediate travel
Stunned
plans?
silence.
I didn't hear you. What word? Oh, okay.
We heard you, but people talked over you, so we didn't hear what you said.
I'm sorry. I cut, and I got cut out of all that. Could you repeat?
Oh, I said Scylla says she's going to the Valley of Life and Death.
Okay. Sorry. Audio seems to give out for me every section. I can't explain it. But anyway. But anyway, so Valley of Life and Death, huh? place I'd love to get is we'd love to get at more detail of maps on. I have a proposal for you, Miss Rice.
Proposal. Now you're asking things of me. Very well. What's the offer?
Call it a job offer, and she reaches under her desk and pulls out a cartographer's guild pin, just slides it to the center of the desk. This would enable this membership in our guild, should you choose to accept it, would enable it would give us another adventurer out scouring the world. I'll take noting down everything she found, and well, it would also enable us to examine you as you grew in strength, maybe determine what and where your patron might be. You would also get paid.
Scylla looks actually rather conflicted until you said the last part, you will get paid. And then she's like, well, alright, that does tip the scales in my favor a little bit more. How much of this is one side mission, for example?
Okay, you know what? Oh no, one side mission. Oh no. You would be paid a monthly salary.
Alright. And what does this include so far? I would actually need digits, numbers.
That could all be discussed. That would all be open to negotiation, and it depends on the amount of work the intensity of work you generally expect. We would generally expect you to be doing, and what kind of benefits you would ask for, and another number of other factors. Translation. I need to sort out with Peter and Lala what they actually are, because I don't think that was ever established in any of our games.
Oh no, it wasn't ever established, but
we can work it out off screen.
If you want me to give you a basic general thing, it would probably be per map, and essentially you'd send the map in, they'd evaluate the quality and how much you did, and then pay an amount based on your map. So for example, a beginner map is probably only going to get, like, if it's a beginner map of a town, it's probably only get maybe a gold, but if it's a beginner map of a deadly area that people don't travel, probably going to get a bit more, and if it's a well done map of a dangerous area, then it's going to get even more.
Okay.
Okay, so Oriana basically like relays all this to you, like and also in the also the Cartographer's Guild has a dental plan now.
Neat.
Dental plan. Oh boy, my teeth are gonna need some work. Well,
Yes. So, now the Valley of Life and Death is one that our cartographers have had quite a bit of trouble with. It's like a lot of dangerous wildlife. Only one city in the whole damn place to resupply. Not many guides want to go in there. Think you can handle a place like that, recruit?
you don't ask enough of me.
I like your attitude. Welcome to the guild. And she slides the guild badge the rest of the way across the table. you can get measured for the green cloak later.
Very well. Just make sure that dental plan is scheduled next 2 months.
Of course. I know very well. I know very well that at our operatives must often go into the field for a long time.
Where we're heading is a lot more dangerous than just the. I assume. Just make sure you accommodate appropriately for that. With that said, we'll be out.
Of course. But also, if you need a set of the upper tool, there are basic ones in our storehouse.
I would need that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, out of character, how's Silo's drawing hand?
Well, considering she is noble, decent painting arm. Otherwise, she's not really extremely talented. No.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna have to learn fast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
I mean, even
I
a
would-
bad map. I'm sorry. Continue.
and well, I mean, I would base any kind of drawing on your dexterity skills. So probably not too bad. Like, what's more important is the information the map provides. Really.
That's fair. She has pretty decent dexterity, so.
Yeah.
Do I have to add anything into my equipment?
A cartographer's tools or cartographer's supplies should be a thing. So just like pull that, and so just like find that in the item compendium and just pull it in, drag it in.
Yeah. Gotcha. And proficiency, anything? Add that too, or no?
Are you proficient with cartographer's tools?
No, I'm not. So I guess that's the answer.
Yeah, that is a tool proficiency that you can choose to take if you have the ability to get tool proficiencies.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, although if you do your job early, you probably gain it before too long. But we'll see if you remember.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you take out the two. So yeah, like basically, you go to the storehouse. Like you grab basically like a sealed leather case full of like blank parchments. I imagine in the map you found out in the catacombs. I imagine like you just slide that in there. There's also a bunch of ink pens, like a big, like sort of a big thing of wax to like blot. I don't know. Actually, no. It should have a list of what it's in it. One moment.
Basically, all the tools and stuff you need for it.
Yeah, all the tools. But I want to immerse her, so I'm gonna and have a little bit more detail than all the tools. Cartographer's tools. Right. So like ink pens, wax, X a bunch of inch of like a bunch of parchment, some some rulers and straight edges to try and like figure out scales and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And then like they quickly, like you can get measured for like a green cloak oak right now. They might have one your size.
Sure. However, still will probably be later on make some modifications to the cloak.
That's like it is explained to you that is very common to do.
Okay.
So yeah, like no problem with that. The point is that you got a green cloak. It's kind of become the guild uniform, and And so yeah, you're yeah. So the so they're fresh out of the ones exact. So I rolled a nat 1, so they're fresh out of the ones that are exactly your size. You can have one that's just a little bit too big, or one that's just a little bit too small.
I prefer the one that's a little bit too big.
And then they give you one that's a little bit too big. I mean, how old is Silo again?
How old is she?
Yeah, like
22. Like she's like a young adult. If I really had to give it like actual years.
so probably past her growth spurt then. Oh well. And but yeah, so yeah, so it's a bit so yeah, like they give you the cloak. It's a bit big on you, but eh. Okay, so and with that, like bidding farewell to your new associates, it's like, is there anything else you want to do while you're still there?
That's it.
All right, you set off into well, it's evening now.
Well, that was certainly an interesting experience.
It was enlightening to some degree.
So, your patron may be associated with some god.
Probably a servant of a god. If that's a big maybe.
Hmm.
I'm gonna hand this back to Heaven now. Let her know. So I'm gonna roll something like that if that's okay with you guys.
What exactly are you rolling?
Dexterity to see if I triple my robe.
Oh yes, by all means. Make that a dexterity save.
Oh well,
I know
that's pretty high.
That makes no difference for you, but yeah, you quickly figure out how to I just hold your arms out just a little bit so the head swishes around you and doesn't really get in your feet's way.
Okay. Zeal will hand back the necklace back to Heaven. You might need this more than I will.
Heaven just raises an eyebrow, like, what do you mean? What'd you find out?
My patron could be of some kind.
Heaven tells
Of our two.
you were a little quiet there. I couldn't hear that.
She mumbled anyway, but she mumbles saying Artune.
What about Archud?
That might be my patron for my warlock.
Heaven blinks in surprise.
Well,
a
celestial type. That's what they deemed anyway. That's about it.
Well, if I recall, celestials are associated with Artune. In fact, my pharaoh is a celestial.
You did mention this to me. Celestial part, but of your country, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm getting an idea now what the message means.
What message is that?
I'd rather not spread lies, so I want to make sure this is accurate.
But you have a theory.
I do have a. It's not one you're going to like, Heaven, so I'd rather not just announce it.
Talus gives a shrug.
Heaven remains silent, not like. Well, if you're certain, we'll leave it alone until we find more information.
Yes, that's better. Because I don't know myself.
Besides, we really need to head back. I've got to write this. I got to introduce Nefaru to our home, write the message, and see if I can talk to Lady Hilna about finding someone who can take care of the house while we're gone.
Okay, that sounds
mean-
good. I'll be at the house in general too.
Yeah, I especially need someone to feed Nefaru while we're gone.
Whoever's bold enough to do such a thing.
Heaven strokes Nefaru's chin. He's better behave, aren't you, Nefaru?
And like, hey, hey, Nipper, go ahead and roll charisma on him.
Oh boy.
Oh,
And so he gives you a look that says, "Of course I am. What are you, stupid?" Again, it's possible to tell if he's blushing or not because his feathers are already red.
I'll take that as a yes.
Well, then I suppose we're on our way back home. Oh, but Rudy, you said you'd be spending your time at the inn, correct?
Correct.
All right then. Well, I suppose we'll see you in the morning. You be sure to take care of yourself. All right.
I shall arrive at the house at dawn. If I am not there at dawn, I am probably dead.
Well, considering what we've seen of you lately, I think you'll be all right. I just need to get out of the mindset.
Oh,
I
kidnapped.
apologize.
Dead or kidnapped.
I think I'll walk with Rudy to the inn for the night.
Are you sure?
Oh, heaven, I got a gift for you too. Hello.
Dream.
Yeah? Sorry, I looked away for something.
You're good. I have a gift for you, Heaven.
Oh? What's that?
She hands over the hunter's coat. In case you need it.
Heaven tilts her head. What am I supposed to do with this?
It's a good fashion coat. It's good for combat. Use it as you want. I can't use it right
Okay. It'll clash with my clothes, but I'll see what I can do.
now. I'm sure you can modify it to your discretion.
All right then. Well, good night, Rudy. See you in the morning.
May you rest well, and may your night be cultist free. And with that, Rudy just turns and heads on away.
Scylla gives a wave and follows Rudy.
As Talos is watching them go, he just sort of sighs, and he says, "I was honestly rather surprised Rudy knew how to handle a weapon." Speaking to Heaven.
Sorry about that. I was just adding the coat.
Yeah, hunter's coat. It's like you examine it, like might at least be possible to like dye it pink.
All right. So, what's the matter, Talos?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking on how, well, back a couple of days ago, I was honestly rather surprised to see Rudy knew how to handle a weapon. I'm so used to seeing her cast magic, I suppose I never really even considered asking if she knew how to use a sword at the very least.
You mean she never even had a dagger?
Well, she always had. had those weapons with her, but I always assumed it was more of a, all else fails sort of situation, But even still, just seeing how well she handled that whip and just how she handled herself when she was in such a tight space back in the catacombs. I suppose she doesn't need my protection as much as I thought.
Well, is Silo privy to this conversation, or is it just between you and Heaven?
He starts speaking to Heaven, sort of, once they're out of earshot.
Nah, I can't imagine any of you knowing this, but so continue on. Silo, I would have given a history check too, but there's no way you two would know it.
Yeah. Still, I am confident she'll be able to take care of herself.
Might make you worry less then.
I suppose it will. I have somewhat worried a little too much, I believe.
Well, it's understandable. There's things that want to either kidnap or kill her.
True, but, well, I don't want to seem like I'm smothering her. I want us to stand shoulder to shoulder, so to speak, if you know what I mean. She's my traveling companion, and I want us to stand equally.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm pretty sure if she had a problem with that, she would have voiced her concern.
She's a rather quiet sort, and if she ever did have an issue, I think she would have told me regardless, but...
That's what I'm talking about.
True. But even still, I perhaps was being a little too smothering to her. But on the plus side, it does seem like her and Sela are getting along rather well.
Well, I suppose.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But enough of my ramblings. Let's get Nefar settled in, shall we?
Yes.
And Talos and Heaven head on inside.
All right, into Crimson Room with you. Okay, so, so what room would? Hold on, I assume. So, what room would you like to convert for Nefaru?
Probably the one nearest to Heaven's room.
Okay, I'm gonna move you both to the top floor. You're gonna have to remind me which room that is again.
Yeah, Yeah, okay, so this is Heaven's room. I think Heaven looks for a bit, looks into here and says, if I can take out this door and can get like an archway right here.
There's a window right here.
Yeah, I know. But I have a feeling that Faro would want to be in flying distance of Heaven and not just go around and go into Heaven's window.
All right, so yeah, like I that looks doable. You'd have to talk to a home renovator of some kind.
For now, he can stay in this in the same room as Heaven. It's plenty big enough.
Yeah. Okay, so you just like so you mount so yeah, like you mount the stick on the wall. You mount his you just put the perch here, leave out a bowl of water, leave out another bowl of rodent meat. Yeah,
You
like go ahead and roll wisdom to see if you can identify the meat.
All right. Straight wisdom or
Just
wisdom's-
straight wisdom. Like, okay, yeah. So you're pretty sure it's rabbit meat.
All right. As
All right.
Heaven sets up, she says to Nefaro, "This'll do for now until I can get your room set up." All right.
Ah!
Well, welcome to your new home, I suppose.
I don't know what sound hawks make.
We can
Well-
Google it later.
Yeah, that'll work anyway. Well, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stand by the front door or downstairs for a bit and wait for CeeLo to come back home. You get yourself
Alright.
settled in. You get yourself settled in for the night, okay?
All right. I got a letter to read anyway.
All right then. Well, rest well, Heaven.
You too, Talos.
All right. So, right. Right, so and so Dream, you don't have to do it right now, but I do want you to actually type out, like draft out whatever the letter is just so I know what the druid's getting. Okay. Silo and Rudy, you two are on your way to the inn. Floor is yours.
Alright. Anything you want to say first, Taylor?
She would just be humming a little bit.
Alright, after about, say, 5 minutes of walking, Rudy will turn and look at her and then say, "So, would you say you and your father have a good relationship or a negative one?"
It's a loaded question, but it's surprising, to say the least. I would say he cares for me greatly. It's just I don't want to be confined by his rules. So I guess I would be the negative one in the relationship. He just wants to make sure I'm safe.
What did he teach you?
He taught me a lot about noble society. And what to look for in deceit and lies. Though I kind of fell asleep at that part. But it was a lot of stuff about merchant and making sure that I can continue the family's name if something were to happen to him. He must never really liked me whenever I started doing fortune tellings instead.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of what Rudy would say next.
What about your family?
Hmm. My brother was the one that my family put the focus on.
And your eldest brother.
Eldest. I didn't say younger or older, I just said my brother.
Hmm.
He is some sort of, I think it was paladin or whatever. Something of that sort for that giant dragon that everyone has a big stick up their ass about.
I can make the connection. So,
We're actually look very similar.
do you think that maybe they were targeting him instead of you?
Unlikely. We may be similar in appearance, but our personalities are completely different. He likes to play jokes.
Well, it sounds like he just wants to be able to be around them to be happy, in a sense, no?
No, he just did it because he likes messing with people. Rudy begins to walk and then simply says, and he got away with it every single time.
That must really bother you then.
I don't really care.
Can I roll insight on that?
Uh, uh, you, and you, you absolutely, you absolutely can.
Okay. Well, as proven usual of my insight roll, I believe everything she says.
Yeah. An insane miscreant who goes around causing chaos and never gets in trouble for it. That's her. It's the heir to the LSA family.
Well, sounds like a rotten person in general. If you just like to mess with people.
Yeah, it's totally balanced and not at all misleading portrayal of her oldest brother.
I mean, they are siblings, so they're not going to get along.
Yeah, and so, it's totally not purely because he doesn't get to do it very often.
Anyway,
That's just a little spite.
Yeah, totally not. It's totally not resentment for and for being neglected it over three older siblings. Totally not.
Okay.
Anyway, Rhodey will eventually pause and then say, I spend most of my time studying for my magic and my abilities.
Well, why do you do that? What drives you?
I was told to at first.
So you did it because you were told to?
At first. Though I do find the knowledge that it can be contained in certain books that are hidden behind rigorous puzzles and misdirections created by talented wizards to be quite intriguing.
I can respect that. I can. I always tried to see other angles from people rather than books. So in a way, I can understand where you would rather do it in books than to people.
It is not about gathering knowledge. I just enjoy the act of learning.
Hmm.
It does not matter to me what the contents of the tome are. It is all of interest in some form or another. As it stands, I am quite shocked that despite sending a letter back towards my town and my family, they have not responded at all. It appears they really do not care. Oh well.
And so, Silo, roll insight on that again, and go. Uh, 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 Rudy, don't roll deception in this time because as you don't know you're lying. You need to be. Oh, that's actually very funny because the DC was 9.
Yes.
That's her passive deception. So you think you know what she's talking about, and you're fairly certain that the actual reason was because as the Dominion is on the other end of the continent, and she can't have done that more than a few days ago.
No, but see.
That sounds about a gathered.
One second, please, Silo. No, Rudy knows that they probably haven't received it yet. Rudy is well aware of this, but she also would have thought they would have at least sped it along on an airship or something. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but that turns it from several months to a few weeks. So yeah, it's still like
she is still a
travel,
noble, though.
not.
I'm just saying that it's not like she's, wow, I sent this yesterday and it still hasn't arrived. Like, she's a noble, but she's not that noble.
Yeah, but still chalk it up to a somewhat realistic. But still chalk it up to a somewhat unrealistic idea of how fast airships actually travel across the continent.
That's fine.
Still gonna be.
Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. Sorry for interrupting you, Silo. Continue now.
No worries, no worries.
Okay. So my question would be, that would be a bit gathered, but I have seen the paper of Rudy, so do I know anything about that? I forgot if I did or not. Like what city she would be from?
I believe
Because that would matter.
I believe you rolled a history check in the when we were doing the magic shop stuff, and you did get a pretty fair look. So, like, her full name is Rudion LSA, and she's from the Great Elf City. Whatever else is up to Korax. I mean, Wedward.
Like LSA. LSA does ring a. Well, go ahead and roll history. I mean, I think you've had the advantage of like sleeping on it a bit at this point.
So roll with advantage then?
No, just roll.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. You kind of broke up a little on my end. 12.
LSA. It's ringing a bell with you, but you can't quite place it. You think you heard your father mention him once?
Could always ask him about it.
Not having that uncomfortable conversation.
Anyway, I mean, your mum would know it too, but you've just been walking in silence with Rudy for a bit.
So you ready to stay in a room?
I'm sorry, did you say, are you ready to stay in the room, or are you staying in an inn room?
Are you staying in an inn room then, Rudy?
Yes, I do not want to settle down in that house. If I attach an address to my name, they will attack it.
Okay, I'll stay with you then for the night at least. This one night.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry. My audio cut out.
Okay. I said I'll stay with you for this one night then.
Talos is likely waiting for you at the home. Do
Don't worry
not
about
worry, I
that.
will be fine.
I need to do some scouting and I'd rather it be quiet than rowdy.
I have your animal.
I need
can-
him for the night. No. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm cutting off.
Ah, very well. As it stands, good night.
Alrighty. This is why I need him for just the one night then.
He's your
Some
pet.
studying, I guess you can say.
He's your pet. If I wanted one, I would have picked up the spell. And with that, Rudy turns and heads into the inn. I require one room. I'll take whatever room you have that is decent and not threadbare. Will the gold cover it?
Sure. I mean, like, looking around this place, you're basically looking at, like, a Best Western roadside motel here.
Rudy's basically saying, I want the best room you've got.
Sure, take the one on the top floor, and then under his mouth, it's exactly like all the others.
Rudy will walk downstairs and place down the key and then say, either give me my change or give me the actual best room.
I mean, I gave you the best room. They're all tied for first.
So you sleep in one of those rooms?
I go home later. We work in shifts, and like while he says all this, he's making your change.
So how much
Yeah,
was
you only actually spend 1 silver.
Fair enough. Rudy will take her change and then walk back up to the room.
So you'll come after and order a room as well.
Do either of you order room service?
Nah, because Rudy's going to be placing a few spells on her room.
Now, so will be trying to work quietly in her little activity. And then she'll send Hope off.
Okay. Okay, so this activity you have Hope working on, and is that something you anticipate taking a long time?
It will take probably most of the night. But however,
Well,
she would order Hope to fly to Talos first.
No, what I meant was, is this something that's going to be heavily involved and take up a lot out of game time?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, because like I was going to say, if it is, then we should probably we have that happen next session.
No, this was just literally scouting the city, talking to Talos, and then scouting the city again. This is like literally 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. And that, okay, in that case, so scouting the city for what exactly?
She wants to use Hope to scout the city using Hope's senses, so she's actually going to use Hope like via her warlock ability to see through Hope's eyes. And practice cartographer tools that way.
Interesting. I like that. And so, yeah, yeah, that's a interesting way. That's creative enough that it's actually gonna that I'm actually gonna say it's gonna cut down some of the time it would normally take to get proficient.
I figure a bird's eye view would just be easier to draw maps and just like gauging an area based off that. So she's cheating, yes, but it's her way of cheating.
Yeah, but that's very clever. Well done. And okay, but while you're at it, though, go ahead and roll perception.
Do I roll for Hope's perception or my perception?
You're setting Hope up, so roll with Hope's perception
Yes.
and the advantage.
Yes.
Wait, does Hope have dark vision?
Yes.
All right then.
There we go.
Let's see if. I mean, that might be enough. Let's see. Oh yeah, like. Hey, as you, as you, as you like do your first sweep of the city, you see a few curious things. Like basically, like here and there, like around the edges, you see some like you see several people in familiar greenish robes leaving the city. Like the tattered green hoods and robes, and not the Cartographers Guild ones.
Oh.
They appear to be sneaking out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the Talos next, so he doesn't keep waiting on me. So, Talos, you'll see Hope flying down next to you.
He's sort of sitting at the table, just resting his head and like with his eyes closed. And Hope.
And you'll see that Hope's eyes are the same color as Silo, and he just starts speaking in Silo's voice. Hey, Talos.
Okay, so Talos, so what are you doing at the time?
At the time, he's sort of just sitting at the table downstairs. You know, one head resting on one hand, and sort of like slowly dozing off. Hello.
Oh.
All right. You can hear me?
Okay, I lost you all again. One moment. I think it's because I left. When will I learn? And always use data for these things, never Wi-Fi.
That's what the same issue actually is.
Yeah.
All right. So to quickly answer your question, Talos is downstairs, sitting at the table, head resting on one hand, and just kind of slowly dozing off as he's waiting for Silo.
Well, you're waiting for Silo to come in through the front door. Instead, Silo's little drag. Again, I'll move you to the front room. It's like jumps off the table. Just like leaps in through the window and lands on the table.
But yeah, when that happens, he does sort of like stand up and has like one hand on his sword, but calms down when he realizes it's Hope and starts speaking.
As stated before, Hope will have Silo's eyes, and he actually speaks in Silo's voice as he talks to Talos. Hey, Talos, I'm staying at the inn for the night. Don't wait on me.
He just sort of like looks at Hope for a bit and he says, I had no idea that could happen.
What?
That you could talk through him.
Anyway, Talos, I also have some news to give you too. When I was scouting the city, I was practicing my map making skills through Hope, and we have the people that were after us. They're all leaving. They're sneaking out.
They're sneaking out? Wait, so and you're sure it was the cultists?
Well, they were wearing green cloaks. Could have been cartographers, but I can't speak today.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, like cartographers guild members generally do not wear hoods.
Yeah, and I didn't see the insignia for cartographers on the cloaks, so I'm assuming it has to be them. They're sneaking out and they're covering themselves. They're on the move.
Well, we did just recently, a few days ago, see them raid. Well, see them try and steal or whatever ended up happening there with Nicomedes, so perhaps their mission is fulfilled?
I think it means that they're trying to overcut us in the next run, so we better be careful on our movement from now on.
Damn it. And they're always on Rudy's trail. Chances are they know where we're going.
They're probably trying to set up a trap in the next run. That's my opinion on it.
Well, they best not get too close to my home. They should know better than that.
I'm just saying I'll probably be scouting in the next few days with the cart.
All right. Well, you stay safe. All right, CeeLo?
And then CeeLo like sticks out Hope's tongue as like a very derpy like dragon look, and then he just flies away.
A sight to fall asleep to.
Well, I'm going back upstairs.
The dragon's eyes were like cross-eyed. It just like sticks out. Like, oh, sorry, that was Hope wanted to say bye to. Later.
Well,
Aww.
goodbye, Hope.
So,
see you in the. Yep.
Okay, so Rudy, Silo, it's gonna be more just like flying around and making more maps from that point forward. Okay, so Talos, are you gonna do anything upstairs, or are you just going to bed?
Probably a brief stretches for the night, and then just kind of proceeding to go to bed. And as he's lying in bed, he just sort of, it really just suddenly hits him that he might actually see his family again, his family and Pride again, for what probably feels like a good maybe few years since he's seen them. And
hell of a thing.
And just with kind of that almost sobering thought, he slowly just drifts off to bed.
Right. Rudy, what were you doing in your room?
Well, she just bought a whole bunch of books. She's going to lock the door with a chair. Going to close the blinds and put a chair in front of the window in case anyone tries to jump through it. And she's going to sit in one corner with her spell tome at one side and the book she's going to read at the other. And she's just going to read.
And all right, do you remember what was in the books you bought? Because I do not.
Rudy just literally brought like 50. Hold on a moment. I'm pretty sure I've written it down. Let me see. I know I wrote it down somewhere. Where is it? I've just got it as books. The books were literally just, she went to the shelf, picked out a whole bunch of them, and just placed them down and then said, how much for these? Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Rudy likes to read.
Yeah, okay, I'm just like, okay, like, would there have been, just roll a d20 for me, just on the, just like, who knows, you might stumble across something important in those books.
Something plot related.
Okay, so it's not a nat 20, so no. Yeah. Okay, so, so Heaven, and are you doing anything right now before you go to bed?
Well, Heaven's just writing a letter. And before tying it with a scroll, she looks to Nefaru and says, "I'm gonna need you to deliver this tomorrow. You've delivered it. Wait to see if those if you get a response and bring it back here. Don't be alarmed if I'm not here when you come back.
Ah,
Evan takes that as a sure thing and scritches Nefaro's head. I know I can count on you. I think we're gonna get along just fine.
ah.
And then she goes to bed.
Okay, so, uh, 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 oh. As you, uh, as you all drift off into variously restful states of sleep and or trance, and as small bands of green-robed miscreants and just sneak out of the city, I think that is a good time to call it for this session. We finally got through this one day that started almost a month ago.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, thank you for tuning in. See you in an hour for Fractures if you're tuning in for that. See you next week if you're tuning in for this. Bye bye.
Later.
Later,
Night.
guys.